how was the updated Unreal Engine 5 transition overall? Did it bring what it was expected? How was the UE devs communication? Would you recommend other studios to make that transition? Oh boy, I don't know if we haven't fully recovered from it yet. I think we have had a discussion with Epic in regards to the changes that we have made, and like what it was like for us and what we like. So we've given them feedback on it overall. I don't know if I'm in a good position to give like everyone at the studio's opinion on it, because I actually don't know everyone at the studio's opinion. I only know like a couple of people's like views on it. So like update. Okay, so I'll give. So here's my opinion on it. This is my view on it. I don't know. So disclaimer here. I don't know if this actually reflects on how everyone feels like Wolfenstein in regards to this. This is just my personal opinion on it. Okay, my hot take. Okay, so I think we now are starting to see sort of the benefits of it. It's taken us more than a year. Actually, we started in like January to do the migration. A little bit earlier than that, we started doing a little bit of a check-in, but it's taken us a long time to do the migration, and there's been a lot of work that's gone into obviously the migration itself, but also like, you know, implementing stuff that already worked before then. There were a lot of things that we actually always wanted to rework, like the vehicle system, for instance. We always wanted to fix the vehicle system, and that would entail us rewriting things anyways. So like, it came with a bunch of must-haves in terms of work that were tied to like our tech debt per se, that we could have, you know, pushed and maybe potentially never do. So like in that regard, it's pretty good that like we did do the update, that we actually, you know, had to implement some things again. That's not to say that I think there are issues with the current version as well. Like there were things that worked before that don't work now. But I mean, we'll probably get around to fixing some of that stuff. And like I said, I like now we're starting to see sort of the benefits of some of the upgrades. But it's like if Epic hadn't put out the next couple of updates to Unreal Engine, like 1 and 2, the migration would not have been worth it, I think. So like we definitely needed to go to this version at least to get the benefits out of it, you know? Like I don't feel like Unreal Engine was, in our use case, was in production ready until 5.2, due to the issues that we saw people having. And I guess like a lot of stuff is like we wouldn't know until we put on experimental anyways, and at that point we're already so deep that it would be like such a sunk cost fallacy. And that was the big risk of doing this. It was a huge risk doing the migration, and I think we were a little bit optimistic actually about the migration. I don't think we anticipated a lot of issues, but we got even more issues than we anticipated getting. And we anticipated not knowing how many issues we were gonna get, and we got even more than that. So like I think it was a little bit optimistic for us to make that call. And I don't think enough people were involved in that decision, potentially. But I think things are gonna work out. It's definitely given us a lot of tools to utilize now to improve the game and do things with the game that we didn't think we were gonna be able to do. But like as to like how I would recommend other studios to make that transition, it's so hard because it really depends on the game that you're making. I think in Satisfactory case, it made sense doing it, but I think there are a lot of games where it doesn't make sense to do it. We have made a lot of engine modifications, and I think if a lot of other games have made a lot of engine modifications, like the more engine modifications you make, the less recommended I think this upgrade would be for them. I think it makes more sense to like make a game from scratch in 5 than to migrate in certain cases. And there are certain games that have made semi-migrations for it, but I don't know. It's been one of the toughest calls for us to make. and I think it's gonna pan out. But that's my opinion. I think definitely think if you ask some people at the studio, they might disagree with me completely. Actually, I feel like it was not the best call, but we're here now, and I think that's what matters most.